In this video, I'm gonna put a hypothetical fight together between two prehistoric true monster fish. I'm gonna let you know what they bring to the table, toe to toe, blow for blow, and after everything is said and done, I'm gonna give you a little idea on how I think the fight gonna go.
Revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What is up, all you stone cold, superfly, prehistoric monster fish keeping, fish loving funkadelics? You watching AQUATICS with me, AquaFunk. Before I get started, let me start with a little disclaimer. I do not recommend these fish to anyone. Not you. Not you. Not you. These fish get way too big. Please, in the comments below, let me know who you think wins this fight. Then after the video's over, let's see if you're correct or not. Alright, so let's get into the tail of the tape. As far as age goes, both of these fish are prehistoric fish. Fossil records have reportedly have the Arapaima being over 250 million years old, and the alligator gar over 100 billion years old. So the edge on age goes to the Arapaima. Habitat. Both these fish live in similar habitats. Murky water, swamps, lakes, rivers, streams, tributaries, all types of fresh water. So they both get a check. Length. Both these fish are very similar in length. Average at about 10 feet, and reports on both fish, the Arapaima and the alligator gar, there's been reports of them being up to 14 feet long. So edge to both of them. Weight. Now this is where the scales tip. Arapaimas can grow up to 440 pounds. That's a big one. And the alligator gar can grow up to 350 pounds. So the edge on weight goes to the Arapaima. The mouth. Also, another tail skip, a scale tipper. The mouth of the Arapaima is more designed for gulping. It opens up its mouth, and the vacuum of its large mouth opening up sucks the fish in. Now, the Arapaima has a very interesting adaptation where the tongue of the Arapaima is actually a bone that is very porous. And what it does is when the Arapaima sucks this fish in and is holding it, it takes that bony tongue and grinds the fish in between the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Alligator gar, on the other hand, some strange scientists built this mouth. It's got double rows of teeth on the top. The bottom, you can see all the... I can't... I'm going to show you the picture of it. You can see the picture of it. I can't even explain what somebody was thinking the first time they saw that. So edge goes to the alligator gar. Teeth. Arapaima's teeth is really meant for just holding fish in place, while the Arapaima's tongue grinds the fish against the roof of his mouth. Whereas the alligator's teeth are like daggers, and it's got a lot of them. So, edge on mouth goes to alligator gar. Scales. This is very interesting, so pay attention. The Arapaima has very large scales, tough and thick, designed for warding off piranha. So piranhas cannot penetrate these thick scales. Now the alligator gar, those scales are fleshy cartilage type stuff, you know, keratin, but underneath that is bone, enamel, like that, and it's serrated. So the edge on scales goes to the alligator gar. Speed. Arapaima is designed for speed. Yeah. Not necessarily the fastest fish in the water, but for its size, it's pretty fast. The sleek, streamlined torpedo shape of its first 2/3 of his body is smooth. The second third of his body starts tapering this way, so it has the tail kind of flattens out like this, and it's not even a whole tail. It's more, at any rate, its dorsal fin has been pushed all the way back, and its anal fin has been pushed back. So it's like they're like extra fins acting as the tail. Whereas alligator gar is like a freight train. It just kind of lumbers along, chugga 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 chugga, not all that fast. So the edge on speed goes to the Arapaima. Power. The Arapaima is big, it's heavy, it's streamlined, it's fast. Alligator gar goes back to the it weighs a little bit less than the Arapaima, and it doesn't move all that fast. So edge to power goes to Arapaima. Hunting styles. Arapaima, like I said before, it pretty much just comes up to a fish, gulps, opening up its big old mouth, and gulps the fish in. Whereas the alligator gar, it actually hunts. It's an ambush hunter. It'll go in murky water and lie in foliage, and as the fish come by, it opens up its big old mouth and snags them. And it will actually do a type of a shimmy shake death roll thing to kill its prey. Natural predators. Where the Arapaima comes from in South America, the Amazon River, doesn't really have any natural predators. So it's been allowed to grow and live and unfold as is for a long time. Whereas the alligator gar, on the other hand, it has alligators to actual defend from. It has larger alligator gars, so they have a little bit more sense of danger and fight, I believe, with the alligator gar. So edge goes to alligator gar. X factor. Both these fish can have a highly modified, specialized lung type system. So they can actually live out of air for quite a bit, live out of water for quite a bit, travel on land. The Arapaima can live up to 48 hours out of water. The alligator gar can live 2 hours out of water. So the edge on that X factor goes to the Arapaima. As far as another X factor, we're going to go ahead and talk about their sense of smell, their sense. The alligator gar has a very, very, very strong sense of smell. It's designed for smelling their prey in murky water. So as far as senses go, I'm going to give that to the alligator gar. Ooh, it's getting close. So I took a small survey, asked some of my friends what they think. Here's what they had to say.
My personal opinion, if I had to choose between an alligator gar and an Arapaima, not being biased, and I'm out of Florida, got a lot of alligator gars down there, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the alligator gar. Razor sharp teeth, same size roughly, both monsters, both beautiful fish, but in my personal opinion, taking the alligator gar all day. Wolverine status.
Wait a minute. An Arapaima versus an alligator gar? Come on now. You gotta go with the Arapaima. Wait a minute. Yeah, Arapaima. I didn't even care what it landed on. It's Arapaima all day.
Bro, I'm gonna say alligator gar. A, I done caught one. B, I'm from down there where they at. We got the alligator gars hotspot in the state of Texas, probably in the country, Trinity River. And yeah, alligator gar is a beast.
That if it were to come down to the alligator gar and the Arapaima, that the alligator gar would do some serious damage because the teeth, man, the teeth.
As far as my opinion, I did look between the two, and where the alligator gar has the teeth and it looks real ferocious and vicious and could just tear anything apart, I'm going to vote for the underdog here and go with the Arapaima based on the color scheme. I did see some of them had that nice black and red look, and that just looks really, really nice.
Between an alligator gar and an Arapaima, I'm going with the Arapaima. I love South American fish, and Arapaimas are one of the coolest, largest fish out there. So you got it first, Arapaimas.
If I had to choose between the two fish, I'm going to choose the alligator gar for very scientific reasons too. For one, I love saying gar, and two, it's got alligator in the name. I choose alligator gar.
To be a predator, you have to get really big. So what happens when you get really big? There's other things that get really big and try to eat each other. So with that, the Arapaima has one of the best, coolest things to me is their scales are so thick. Their scales are so thick that it can't even be eaten by a piranha. The piranha can't even bite through it.
Okay, so Funk asked me to give my opinion regarding Alpina and alligator gar. Now, to me, I believe the alligator gar would win that competition because of the teeth, the body structure, the muscles of the alligator gar. Right? It more look like Funk.
I'm going with the Arapaima all day. Size, agility. I understand the beak on the alligator gar, but I'm going with the Arapaima all day long.
Alligator gar for the dub is not a problem. Simple as that. You know why it's simple as that? Because I said it. You feel me? And if you go against me, you're wrong and a loser, flat out. It's the alligator gar. Hey, FISHYBIZZ rule of thumb. If it has teeth, where's the beef? You feel me? If it has teeth, where's the beef? And in this case, it's Arapaima prime rib. You feel me? Man, that alligator gar is going to cut that mug in half. Slice him, dice him, saw him up, eat him down. Simple as that. That's all it eats. That's all it eats. Fish, meat, everything. It's going to eat Arapaima. It's going to eat arowana. It's going to eat swordfish. It's going to eat goldfish. It's going to eat koi fish. It's going to eat fish. It's going to eat all kind of fish.
All right, so did y'all in the comments below put down who you think gonna win? Because I'm about to give you a little hypothetical rendition on how I think it's gonna go down. Check this out. All right, due to pollution, global warming, overfishing, whatever you want to call it, the alligator decides it wants to find greener pastures. So, being that the alligator gar does live in fresh, brackish, murkiest dirt, all types of fresh water, it has been seen out in the Gulf of Mexico. So, it being able to survive salt water is a possibility. So, let's just say, hypothetically, this little alligator gar, makes its way down through the Gulf of Mexico, all the way down Central America, down to South America, it goes into the mouth of the Amazon and takes a trip up the Amazon looking for a nice place to settle. It comes across this nice little lagoon type deal. Fresh water, plenty of fish, alligators.
Oh, well, yeah, this is where I want to be at. This is my new spot.
Little does he know that this alligator gar just wandered into the territory of an Arapaima. Now, the Arapaima and the alligator gar are roughly about the same size, 10 feet. Arapaima got weight on him because it's normally a bigger, bulkier fish. Arapaima rolls up.
Yo, money! What you doing in my neighborhood, dude?
Alligator.
I'm just looking for a new spot to chill in. This looks like it's it.
I'm like, no, this is my spot.
Alligator gar is like
that. It's on.
So they square off. They square off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, square off. Alligator.
I was like, what? What? You know what I'm saying? What? I was like, what?
Arapaima's just chilling, swimming around with his long tail, just flopping in the water. Just
I got you, dog. I got you.
Then all of a sudden, BLAM! They both go at each other. Water just splashing, boom, boom, boom. We're talking about at least 700 pounds plus splashing in this probably 4 foot of water in the Amazon. All the other fish just wondering what's going on. You got fish tubers in the woods just yelling and screaming like, go! Everybody pick their pony. You got the Arapaima side over here. You got the alligator gar over here. These are going at it. They're going at it. Arapaima's faster. Arapaima's stronger. Arapaima is way more nimble because its scales are not quite as rigid as the alligator gar, so it's able to outmaneuver the alligator gar with ease. Comes around the side of it, around the back. The water is murky, so visibility is not all that great. But this is the Arapaima's home. He knows where every little rock and twig and stick is. He comes along underneath the bottom right there and grabs a hold of the alligator gar's fin and starts rubbing on it with its weird bony tongue up against his mouth like a dog eating people.
I got you, dog. You ain't going nowhere.
So the alligator gar does one of its alligator style death. And then loosens up. He manages to swim away, but Arapaima, he ain't giving up that easy. This is his home. So he manages to outmaneuver, come alongside. Bashes into the side of the alligator gar with like a missile. He's got that bony head. The Arapaima's got that bony head with a very thin layer of skin. But the alligator gar's scales are bony and serrated. So the Arapaima's taking some damage on his whole mouthpiece. Is all bloodied up. Arapaima's a strong, big dude. So he managed to, you know, give him some nice body shots. It hurt him. It hurt him. So the alligator gar kind of just hides off into the long grass to hide for a second. Round 1 goes to Arapaima. Round 2, alligator gar comes out from the grass because he ain't gonna just go out like that. He's got a busted up wing, but it's superficial. The Arapaima's hits from the side did hurt him some, but that exoskeleton style scales really did a good job protecting him. Arapaima got a little cut up on his grill, but he's still ready to fight. As they square off again in the middle of this lagoon, everybody's still on their side, cheering and shouting for their dudes. Arapaima makes the first move because he's faster and he can easily tag the alligator gar from the side. Over and over again, he tries to bash this alligator gar from the side, but that armor that the alligator gar, while it does hurt the alligator gar, that cannot penetrate its powerful defense. Now it's time for the alligator gar to make his move. So as the Arapaima makes a fatal move and gets way too close to try and go for the other wing, alligator gar twists his head. While it can't move its body all that great, it can move enough to just jaws. He manages to get the Arapaima on the head, but that bony head, it ain't working. He smashes it. He gets the Arapaima on the side. Arapaima's a big, beefy dude, so he can't really get a good grip, but those teeth can do enough damage to the scales. He rips some of the scales off. He penetrates the scales of the Arapaima. Arapaima's bloody. He's got a couple of gashes in him, but he's still gully. He's ready to go. Alligator gar swims around, makes another move. He's got a formula now. He knows he can get past those scales, but Arapaima's fast. Alligator gar manages to get some more scales off him. Arapaima is taking a toll on the Arapaima. He's not liking this, not one bit. So he has to jump out of the water with his powerful tail. Like flipper, just out of the water, lands in the grass. While the alligator gar can follow, he doesn't know how long that Arapaima plans on staying out of the water. So the Arapaima is safe for now. Round 2 goes to the alligator gar. Last and final round, round 3. By now, the water is all types of murky and all turned up from these two behemoths, these dinosaurs. This is like Godzilla and Rodan. They just tore this water up. It's just muddy and murky, but they don't phase these animals none. They can still swim through it because they're breathing air. The Arapaima squeaks back into the water. They can't see each other. They're looking, they're searching, they're circling around looking. But the alligator gar with that snout, that schnoz, he can smell where the Arapaima is, and he manages to sneak up alongside it, all slow like. And with one huge grabs a hold of the tail of the Arapaima where it's nice and slim, and he can get a good grip on it. Not like the body was too big, but the tail is bite-sized, and he manages to get a hold of it. His teeth dig into the Arapaima, passing its scales. Arapaima thrashes violently. Get off me! People on the Arapaima side is like,
you do it. Do the Richard Brown. Richard Brown and Richard off. Let's go.
People on the alligator side is like, Arapaima manages to break free. He swims around. He goes for one more pass. Jams the alligator gar in the side again because unfortunately the missile style jamming of the side is the only offensive weapon this Arapaima really has. But still does not do no damage. They circle each other again. The Arapaima, excuse me, it's wild up in here. It's like craziness. I can't even talk. I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my voice. Arapaima starts thinking to himself,
I need these scales. I can go at it. I still got some fight in me.
But the Arapaima got to think, even if he wins this fight, his precious scales that has been protecting him from these piranha all these many millions of years are gone, and now he's vulnerable. Not to mention, he has a huge chunk taken out of his tail from those double row of teeth of the alligator gar. So the Arapaima takes one good look at the alligator gar.
Rematch, sucker.
Alligator Gar wins. Alligator charges a little bit.
Say, I told you, you shouldn't have came at me like that, dog. We could have shared this place. But nah, you want to be like all stingy and stuff. It's mine, man. It's mine.
Alligator Gar goes back to his new home. He claims all the riches. Alligator Gar is the undisputed prehistoric monster fish of freshwater, y'all. Alright, who'd you pick? Was you right? Now mind you, under different circumstances, under different water situations, it could have gone either way. But at the end of the day, the Arapaima just did not have enough offensive and defensive weapons to pass the Alligator Gar's scales. And just having the mouth with the tongue was not going to be enough. So, under self-preservation, the Arapaima tucked its tail between its... The Arapaima took off. Alright guys, that was a lot of fun. Listen, in doing the research, I did not realize these two animals were so incredible. But I have to reiterate, I do not recommend either one of these animals be bought as a pet in the average or even above average aquarium. They get too big. And what happens is when they get too big and Bass Pro Shop don't take them, or any fish rescues don't have enough room for them, or the museum's already packed, they end up in the waterways. So, like always guys, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and take care of your fish.